Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am super excited to have my guest here today. You may know him as Enrique, but I know him as one of the best CC hair creators in the game. So Enrique, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Stacey, to having me here and for the invitation. Honestly, I'm so excited to be here. Honestly, I'm screaming at the inside. I can tell, but this is so exciting. I swear to God.
I'm screaming. I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan. As we were talking before, you were one of the first CC hairs I've ever created, and I stuck with you for so long. I still stick with you. And like I said, I have like every single hair downloaded, and all your accessories. So huge fan. I love your work. It is so incredible when it comes for storytellers. It's so diverse and just really detail oriented. I love it so much. And it's not chunky looking either, which is not a bad thing for some Sims creators, but I don't really like chunky hair. But anyways, Enrique, I am so stoked to be here and I'm so stoked for everyone to get to know you just a little bit more. So why don't you start us off a little bit about your Sims history and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, so first of all, my name is George. That's my first name, and my second name is Enrique. So it's like that. I'm 22 years old, and I'm from Venezuela. So yeah, I'm from Latin, like South America. And well, we can start about from I think 2015. That was the year that I started doing CC. I was 15 years old. I was at school, and then I come to home and all that stuff. And I was a really fan of The Sims 1
Mm-hmm.
in the time. I was a little kid. I
Mm-hmm.
have a neighbor. Yeah, a neighborhood is a neighbor. Well, a person who was like live here in the same, you know, house, and
Mm-hmm.
she was having a PC, right, with the Sims one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, what's that game, all this stuff? And she said, like, oh my god, it's the Sims one. I remember that. And then when I just like started growing up and all this stuff, I forgot about the Sims, honestly. I didn't have a PC or a laptop or something like that. Then when I was 15, I just got at home and there was a YouTuber, um, Hispanic YouTuber, which is really famous. He's from
Mm-hmm.
Chile, and he just uploaded a video, um, telling that the title of the video was the scenes for my first time playing the Sims 4. And I was like, oh my god, is this Sims 4 out actually? I was like, no, I just lost like two generations of the game. And then like he started playing the Sims 4s and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I want to get the Sims 4. I'm gonna get the Sims 4. Then my dad got me a laptop for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not that it was not that the best laptop. It was he gave me just for college.
Mm-hmm.
So I could run this in for like in low settings, but I was really excited. So I just downloaded the game.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded the game and I started playing a lot. I remember like I played a lot of this for because I was really excited. And then, well, I just got on Facebook, on a group, on those groups of simmers. It
Mm-hmm.
was Hispanic as well. And then was a girl there. She was using different things that were not in game. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, this hairstyle, I really like. It was a shaved hairstyle, I remember.
Okay.
It was really trendy in that time. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? Where I can get it and all that stuff. And she said, oh my God, it's custom content. And I was like, what is that? It's mods. And I was like, what is that? And then she started like talking to me and like explaining to me how that works and all that stuff. And I remember the person who kind of inspired me to get into this world
Mm-hmm.
was Widely Miniature Sandwich. It was WBMS. She was a creator.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is still being a creator. I don't know about much. I don't know that much about her right now.
Mm-hmm.
But in that time, she was really like dropping Max's match hairstyle, clothes, recolors, a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just started using her hairstyles and all that. So and I was really excited. Then I remember Simmer, she was a CC creator too. I don't remember her name that now, but
Mhm.
she dropped a video on YouTube like it was a tutorial of how to do a maxi match hairstyle
Mm.
on Blender. And I was like, boy, this is for me. I'm gonna try. The first hair that I did was like a complete mess in the time. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, like this is my first hair. I don't even know how to use the Maxis Match colors because like I did different ones by myself on Photoshop.
Mhm.
So it was a mess. I don't know how UV map worked at the time. I mean, it was just like a lot of things. I didn't even understand, but I did it. I
Mhm.
did it. And then what I was just happy and like the people from the group starting like, oh my God, this hair is pretty and all this stuff. And I was like, do you really like him? And they say yes and all this stuff. And then I just started doing CC. I remember that my that the post were in Spanish because I don't even know like English, or I
Mhm.
don't I didn't know that the actual simmer community, it's
Mhm.
kind of like in English
Yeah.
they must speak in English that we talk is English in this community. So
Mhm.
but I just dropped my post on Spanish, and it was kind of weird because I didn't have that much attention. But then
Mhm.
I just started like posting on English,
Mhm.
upgrading my thumbnails and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then we have like a little time when I just like I was done
Mhm.
because I don't want it to like there were more creators like started joining to Tumblr or to the community, and they were having like better hairstyles than me. I mean, I was like in a bubble, like I cannot get out because I was like I want to update, I want to be better, but I just didn't know how.
Mhm.
And in that time, I remember that I just started looking to Alpha CC. I remember.
Mhm.
So I remember that the last hairstyle that I dropped on the Sims community in that time were on was on the Sims resource. Actually, that was the last hairstyle that I just published in that time, and then I met someone. It was a creator. It was an alpha creator. He was an alpha creator. And he was from Peru, so he speaks Spanish. So he speaks Spanish too.
Mhm.
And he was really nice. Honestly, he was really nice. He taught me how to do clouds, how to like all this stuff, like realistic CC. So yeah, then I just changed my whole brand, like Enrique, like literally was like, and like it was dead in that time. Enrique was dead. Like I just stopped dropping max match CC and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and I started doing office CC, like realistic we can tell. So I started dropping clothes. The name of that brand was Haven Day CC. So it was like all the clothes and all that stuff. I started doing accessories. That time was really, really like good for me
Mhm.
because I learned a lot of different things about accessories, about clothes, about normal maps, shadows, speculars, all that stuff. So I just and I just like stopped posting a lot of Alpha CC. I remember that I used to work with Simpson because
Mhm.
when Simpsons was like a page
Mhm.
who like it was a Portuguese Brazilian page only for Brazilian people. So then they just opened to the world or to the community, and they started just hiding creators, and they just hide me. I was an alpha creator. I didn't even know about like how to be like there because it was really confusing at the time. But then I just like work with them like with only my office CC.
Mhm.
Then we have the Enrique of 2018. Yeah. Then he started doing again maxi match hairstyles, but
Mhm.
with a little bit of different things. I was asking myself, like I was sitting, I remember that I was sitting in the living room and I was like, okay, but what if I add like different objects or different meshes to a mesh that is already like done, that is
Mhm.
already completed. So I just took a piece of the game, a hairstyle, like a base, the base hairstyle.
Mhm.
Can we say like the scalp? And then I just added like a huge ponytail and like a little bit of planes, um, kind of like giving this sensation of curly hairstyle. And I just got a texture from the game too, and that was the first hairs that I did.
Mhm.
Max is Match. It was like the yeah, it was kind of like the the one that I released on Patreon was the first one, because I did some hairstyles too, but they were not in Patreon. They were just like with AdFly and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, I remember that I used to use AdFly too, but and I remember that that was one of the first hairs that I was really proud in the time. I did some of them. There's a ponytail, like a huge ponytail too, which at this time the people still love it.
Mhm.
It's so like shocking for me because like I mean like I can, you know, it's an old piece of CC and the people still love it. I don't remember now the names, but they know what it is because it was a huge ponytail and the people was like really, oh my god, it's so pretty. Then I just started like doing CC, start working, start different things. And I have been upgrading my CC like from that time, honestly. Like I just and then I just like in 2020
Mhm.
I changed my textures. I did a texture by myself on Photoshop. I started doing it and all the stuff. I started meshing in a different ways and learning like more and a lot. So now, well, we just have like the hairstyle that I dropped now, like at this time.
Mhm.
They were like with a better texture. They obviously you need to learn a lot of things like UV1s, UV zeros, like vertex paint, all the stuff that I didn't know in the time, but now I know. And you know, when you're a creator, you're always learning new things. Like there's no any thing that you could go and say, okay, I'm gonna learn this and this is gonna be all. No, you're always learning new things to update your CC and for future games too, honestly. So yes, I can tell that's kind of like my story or my history from how I get into this community and into the CC community in the Sims 4.
That's awesome. There's definitely a lot to unpack there. Um, that I like how like you touched upon, and I feel like this is the same for every creator, especially every Sims creator. We look back at the first things we created today and we're like, how did we do that? Like it just like, oh my gosh, like that doesn't look the best. And now you look at today's and you just be like you've just grown so much as like a CC creator, not a CC creator, as a content creator myself. I'm a storyteller. I tell people in the first 20 chapters, it's a little rough. Give it a minute. It
Yes,
gets better, right? Or even
yes.
like the first, I want to say even the first season of this podcast. I'll be like, you got to stick with it, kids. I was learning. I had no idea what anything was. I had no idea what editing was. I didn't have a good heart. I didn't have good headphones. I didn't have a good mic. Like it kind of comes with time. I can speak with you because I started downloading your CC in 2020 when I introduced myself to The Sims 4. And at the time, I was like, this is so cool because it was just this really like, I know the ponytail you're talking about. It's just really long ponytail.
Yeah.
And like for Sims, they don't have super long hair. And it's so annoying because I want characters to have really long hair. And I remember your Game of Thrones one, like the
Okay,
Khaleesi
yeah.
one.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that was one I was like, this is Khaleesi's hair. This is so cool. And then I watched you kind of grow with your progression and adding texture. I really liked, as I said, like the one where it's like the hair is completely swept over to the side and it's just kind of like really long. Like that was the hair I used for so long.
Yeah, I think
I was like, it's so pretty. Like it stood out from the crowd. And I have a lot of CC hairs now. I've partnered with a lot of CC creators. They send me product and I share it.
yes.
But still I will like my main character, Alexa, will only ever really have your hair. I only trust your hair for her, and I've stated that to everyone I give it to. Like I work with it, like not like I work with Enrique, but like I use Enrique's hair for her, and that's it. Anybody else can have it, like anything else. Now I do have a hair question for you. I have actually several hair questions for you.
Okay, okay.
When you are designing hair, does it work differently when the hair color is different? So if a hair is like bleach blonde like this versus a black, do you have to do anything different when you're designing it, or is it the same across the board?
Honestly, like, when you start working with the hair, like,
Mhm,
I use Pinterest to get a lot of inspiration, and some people send me pictures and all that stuff. So you can
mhm,
make this hair rig and all that stuff, and then I'll see if I can do it.
mhm,
But when I'm in Blender, like, I use a blonde texture
mhm,
because like it's easy to see like if there's any like glitching with other planes, or like in this case with other cubes,
mhm,
because I do my hairs using cubes, then I just model them and all that stuff. So yeah, if you use a black swatch
mhm,
in Blender, you will not see the issue. Well, I mean, it is I have this thing for me, because like I don't know if other creator does that, but for meshing, when I start meshing the hairs and when I start doing the hairstyle, I use a blonde
mhm.
swatch, and then for see if there's like any glitching with the skin or like with the head, you can see better with a darker color. So I use black to see
Okay.
if there's any glitching, if the hair is touching actually the is passing through the head or passing through the ears and all the stuff. It is better, because you can see like better. And when it comes to like it's importing to the game, there's no any like difference. You just do like the texture,
Mhm.
for you just do a base texture, which actually for me, I use blonde swatch, like it's the base main texture. I
Okay.
use the blonde color,
Mhm.
and then I just do recolors of them. I do the black swatches, the black kind of like bluish swatch, then the brown ones, the orange, the redheads, and all that stuff. So it's kind of like that process of the hairstyle. It doesn't matter like if you um use, well, it does matter if you use black swatch first, because if you do a recolor, the highlights will be like dark, will be so dark that if you put a blonde recolor or like a real light recolor, it will not work. Well, for me, it's like that. I don't know if some creator does differently, but for me, it's like that.
Interesting. See, I have no idea. I've never created my own CC in my life, so like I have like zero idea on how to do it. That's so fascinating because sometimes I can tell with different CC, it looked like some of the blondes look darker than others. It's not like a generic across
Blonde.
the board being blonde. Like some like so say like you pick like the layers, it could be very ashy or
Yes.
very silver or very white. So I was always curious when you're like creating, like, is it just like a set, like this is the one that you match with it, or do you grab your own swatches and kind of create your own? That definitely makes a lot more sense now. Knowing that. Because like for an example, like my main character has like the brightest blonde possible. Sometimes it looks white, sometimes it looks ashy, sometimes it looks really dull, right? So now I know that it's not just like, oh, it's X, Y, and Z. Like it comes down to the individual color.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, like the generic colors that you can find, it's actually like not the generic color, but the actually maxis match hairstyles,
yeah.
because we can tell that my hairstyles are not that maxis match. My hairstyles are kind of like in this new thing that we have. It's not a new thing, but it's coming like a really trending right now. That is Max Mix, which is kind of like a little bit with Max's match with Alpha, but
Hmm.
not that much Alpha, not that much
Hmm.
Max's match. So the Max's match creators, some of them use gradients
Okay.
for make. I use gradients for make my swatches, but when you do your texture from scratch, you I don't use exactly the colors of the Max's match. Uh, the blonde that comes with the actual game.
Hmm.
some of the creator that does Maxis Match CC, like Maxis Match purely CC, they use already the texture of the game, you know. So so you will see like some of the creators who does Maxis Match, the blonde will always be the same.
Hmm.
But like my hairstyles or like another creators that are not like that Maxis Match, we made our Maxis we made our texture differently. It kind
Hmm.
of like match a little bit, but it will be different because we don't use the standard colors of it. We don't use the exact color. I mean, we use like the color that match to it, but it's
Hmm.
not the exactly color. So you will see more blondes, like a little bit darker or more
Hmm.
lighter blondes and all that stuff. So that's the difference.
I love that. Because I'm really liking that your new textures of what you've recently just put out. So you have your
Yeah,
bejeweled, you have the one where Anya Taylor Joy, and then you had the other batch as well with the hair with the little beads coming out this way, your Halloween
yeah,
collection, your pony. I'm obsessed with your ponytail, the one that's like, I think you released it would have been like third or fourth quarter of last year, and the hair is like pushed back, like completely back. Obsessed. I love it. I use that all
yeah.
the time for any cheer or any active. Now, as someone who's never created anything on CC, and I know a lot of my listeners have asked me to ask you this question, how do you start? What's your start like when you from your idea of I want to create this hair to you've submitted it?
Okay, so first, I mean, you as a creator, like,
Hmm.
or I think all the people who creates content, doesn't matter if it's hair or clothes or like, whatever content you're gonna create, you're always searching ideas. And
Hmm.
for me, the best, browser to search ideas is Pinterest. I used to like go into Google and then just like type straight long hair or curly hair and other stuff,
Hmm.
but it was not that it just gives you like some ideas, but Pinterest has like all that aesthetic, which is like a lot of diverse content, a lot of different things. And this is why I love Pinterest. I really love Pinterest too, when you are looking for creation. So, well, you just like, I don't know, sometimes I get inspired from people that I really like. I mean, actresses or singers or
Hmm.
like something that I saw in a movie or something that I saw in a comic or like that stuff. I have a a folder too,
Hmm.
which is like a idea pin or something like that on Pinterest when the people can actually add their ideas and I can just grab them. I can grab the idea, the picture of it, and I can do it. So I use that too. That is really healthy because you actually when you are out of ideas,
Hmm.
the people kind of like add their ideas, and you just like okay. I'm gonna do this, and actually, it's really cool too because you know what the people wants to. So it's kind of like it's really cool. So when you have already your idea,
Hmm.
I just open Blender. You need to have your texture already. You need to have I always use a base cylinder. It's a base cylinder object on Blender, and then I
Okay.
just start duplicate it, like I just grab the actual base, like the actual object, and then I just start meshing. I just start moving the vertices, the edges, and all that stuff, looking always at the image. I always have the reference image open because it will be easier for me. Something that helps too is going to Photoshop and like Max's Match hairstyles, or like kind of, well, all the hairstyles. You can just start drawing like on the hairstyle on the picture,
Hmm.
like doing little lines of the color. So when you go to Blender and you open the image, it will see like easy. It will be easy for you to do in the hairstyle because the real hairstyles in real life are not planes. They're just little strands, little strands
Hmm.
combined. So in Blender doesn't work like that. In Blender it's planes or cubes or cylinders that you put texture on it. So you need to like it is easy if you draw like cylinder shapes on the
Hmm.
hair, and then you will be like, oh my god, this cylinder that I did this like line that I did this, I can put it here and it will be easy, you know. So you're getting like the shape of the hairstyle. And yes, like you start doing the hairstyle, you start meshing. I don't know, it could take like 5 hours. It could take like one day. It could take 2 days.
Hmm.
It depends of the level of the hair. Actually, it depends on that. And when you are really satisfied with the hairstyle because you wanted to move the UVs, to
Hmm.
add highlights on the top of the hair or on the bottom, you want to add more planes to add little bit of details and all this stuff. And when you're satisfied of it, when you're really like good with the hairstyle, then just like you import it
Hmm.
to a version of Blender, because like now I use two versions of Blender. I use the latest one, like the Muslim one, and I
Okay.
use the exactly one that Scenes for Studio uses. So you need to have those ones, because if you use the latest one, it will not work with Scenes for Studio. So it's kind of like moving like that.
Okay.
Well, you just like import the hairstyle on the Blender that works with Scenes for Studio. You start doing the hat meshes, you know, the hat cuts. You just put the modifiers to, you do the weights, you do the bones, you do the vertex paint, a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
And then you just import in Scenes for Studio. I actually, for having like, for being like more, you know, for having a more like you know, for save time, to
Hmm.
save time, I have a package of my hairstyles on Scenes for Studio already. So I just select them, I put a name of it, and I just have the texture already there. So the only thing that I need to do is import the new mesh, change the shadow and the normal and the specular map. Because something about it, like it gets a lot of time, a dedication. It's the textures, because you need to do them manually.
Hmm.
So imagine, well, we have 24 swatches for Maxis Match creators, but imagine for alpha creators that they have 80 swatches. So you know, it's like it really takes time. So so as a creators like hairstyles, we does like one generic texture
Hmm.
for all the hairstyles that we're gonna do in the future. You know, so we add like highlights, like 5, 6 highlights to make it like when you are actually meshing the hairstyle, you can add, if the hairstyle has some like 3 highlights, you will have the texture with 5 highlights, so you can cut the UV and like put in 3 highlights and all the stuff, you know, because we can save time. If we
Hmm.
do a single texture for all the hairstyle, I mean, it could take longer.
Hmm.
So, and when you're doing textures, honestly, you can take it like a long to like a long time too. You can take a long time because you're just like testing, working on it, adding more highlights, adding dark little strand, adding dark strands of hair. Like I mean, it's doing the texture is a lot of work too. But when you're ready, you have your texture already and your colors. Like the only thing that you need to do is actual meshing the hairstyle, then you import it in game. I do some things like later because I need to test the first. You
Hmm.
know, there's some creators that drop like a test version of their hairstyle in Patreon. I
Hmm.
used to do that. That is like when you only have like one lot already and some textures. So you just test in game to see if it's working, if it's not having any issues, if it works with the morphs, with the sliders of the sim, if it doesn't clip with anything. And then when the hairstyle is already done, it works with all. You finish it doing the other lots, like the level of the tails, because you know they have like different levels of detail. We have 4, and this is 4.
Hmm.
So each mesh has a different level of detail. Then you add the thumbnail, the little thumbnail that you can find in the game. Um, adding like yeah, the thumbnail and the lots. I do that, and then I just like take pictures of it. Then I just like start editing them on Photoshop,
Hmm.
which is kind of like my favorite part. Honestly, I really love doing thumbnails. It's one of my favorite parts. And yes, you just take the picture of the sim. Actually, now I'm using 2 sims, which I think is pretty cool too, because I used to have one sim, like one model for
Hmm.
each thumbnail, but now I'm using 2 models in the thumbnail. So I think it's really cool because you can see like different too. Like you can see blonde colors, you can see brown colors, and it's really cool. And then you like just edit the picture, and just when you're ready to just upload to the social medias or to the browsers. And for me, it's Patreon or Disney Resource.
Hmm.
And then you start doing the promotion on Pinterest, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, all the social media that you can, or the social media that you have, Instagram too, so the people will know that you drop already a hairstyle.
Hmm. No, that's so cool. And again, that's a lot of process. Like I had
Yes.
no idea. Okay, so how long does it take you? Do you like if you had to gauge to create one hairstyle?
Okay, so are we talking about like the actual mesh, like from the start that I open Blender to the finish, or like the whole process of editing the thumb? Well, we can
Oh,
we can do both.
we could
Like
do both. Yeah, the whole thing.
yeah. Okay, so meshes, like actual hairstyles, can take like 1 day, 2 days. Okay,
Okay.
because being like sitting here in the PC, I mean, it's kind of like a long time. It kind of like it's not that comfortable, like, and for your eyes, from your back. I mean, you really get like a good chair and all the stuff, some glasses with with the bluish
Hmm.
thing. But you can like, I mean, you cannot be like one whole day sitting here, I swear to God, because you get like, oh my God, you get desperate, or I mean, you need to drink water, you need to do something, you need to,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like takes you take your time, doing it. I think it's one, if the hairstyle is just like a ponytail and you are so excited of the hairstyle, because that's like a plus there. When you're so excited about doing something, you want to really like finish like the like now.
Hmm.
So when you're really excited and the hairstyle is not that complicated, you just do like you can finish in 1 day.
Okay.
You can finish like the mesh, the mesh.
Hmm.
But when, if you need to add like new texture, or if you need to add shadows, specular maps, normal maps, then you need to go to game, test them. I mean, 1 day is for meshing if the mesh is not that complicated,
Hmm.
and the other day is for like the marketing, not marketing, but like kind of like the final stuff, like thumbnails, lots, uh normal maps, all the maps that includes the CC. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like that. If the hair is really complicated, like 3 or 4 days, if there are long hairstyle with some wave, with some curls, or
Hmm.
like wavy hairstyles. Also, if you don't have like also if you're doing the hair from actual scratch, because when it comes with ponytails or braid hairstyles, you actually have already a scalp mesh, a base mesh that
Hmm.
is always in this in the same hairstyle. At least that you want to be, different. At least that you want to do another scalp mesh, but you're
Yes.
always using, like, I have like three or two. No, I have three. I have three scalp meshes that I always use with different, when I want to do a braid, when I want to do a ponytail. If I see like a picture and I have already the scalp, I'm just gonna do the ponytail, and add the little details. But when you need to do like a long hairstyle that it comes from the head, actually from the root of the head and all this stuff, you need to do it from scratch because you don't have any base with it.
Hmm.
So like that's all. When you're doing Bond's hairstyle, you need to do the bond from scratch too. Like the bangs, I have some bangs that I did in the past and I just redid them, and
Hmm.
I'm still using it. But when you want to do another type of bank, you need to do the bangs. So I mean, it's kind of like, you need to know what do you have, and how what do you have in your, like, in your PC, in Blender, to make the hairstyle, and see if it's gonna take longer, or see if it's gonna take not that much time. But like, as I told you, I
Hmm.
think 1 day is really good to make, like, kind of like the really simple hairstyles. And with simple hairstyles, I'm talking like ponytails. If it doesn't include that much of detail,
Hmm.
but like ponytails or braid hairstyles too, because you have the braid actually already done. Well, I have it already done, you know. I
Mhm.
just modified because I have like a long huge braid on Blender, and then I just scale it, move it, put it in a curve to attach to the hair and all that stuff. You already have the braid because doing a braid is another process too. So yeah, like I can tell like the you can take up from 1 day to 3 4 days if you're really excited, if you're really like busy and all that stuff, you know, doing different things.
Mhm.
Because well for me, I was in university, like I got graduated like about 1 month ago. um
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I got like industrial engineering, so I'm really excited about it. And I'm just looking for I'm just searching for start working on that industry, you know?
Mhm.
So and obviously you have other like another work here. I mean doing different things and all that stuff. So it might take up like 4 days if you're really busy, or like if you're going to do like if you have like if you have to study, or I mean if you have different things, it can take like that long, honestly.
That's wow. Again, it's so good to know, and I want to shine a light on this because like it takes time, right? It takes a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
time. You're putting your heart and your soul and your effort in it. And maybe some people don't appreciate the amount of effort it goes into making CC, and
Mhm.
especially just such detail oriented. So that's why I was like, I like to ask that question of being like, how long does it take? Like, how many hours do I put into this? What's my process of going into this? So you understand the process. Now, you talked about that you were on Patreon and the Sims resource.
Yes.
Um, what's the experiences like with those? Like, do you, because like obviously it's for like for profit, right?
Yeah.
So which one do you have more success on, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, Patreon was the first one, like was the first thing that I used
Hmm.
for start like making money.
Hmm.
Because well, it's not a secret that a lot of creator does we make money with it.
Hmm.
And well, Patreon, it was like I was really successful with Patreon at the time because it was the only source that I started dropping my CC, and the people was just like supporting me, donating me like the amount that you need to be a patron and start getting my stuff and all that stuff. So I remember that Patreon was a really well, it still
Hmm.
be a really good browser because like I have just there, and I just drop I don't drop that much as before because I have this influencer that we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. But Patreon, it is really good. It is really good for creators. The people can, it's secure for me. It have been really secure and all that stuff. I don't have any issue with Patreon. I don't have any issue with my patrons too. So I mean, it's really good. I really like Patreon to start like dropping, you know, to drop CC there, and the people just come to here and support you.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, about the synth resource. Well, I remember the synth resource like works differently when you're starting. The synth resource for me has been like a really good page too, because I remember that I started as a submitter. You know
Hmm.
that there's like three categories there: submitter, selected artist, and featured artist. So
Hmm.
I started like a posting like back in time, Maxis Match hairstyles there, and in the time the most famous Maxis Match hairstyles that were being there was my hairstyles. So
Hmm.
I was really excited. The Simpson Source team was really excited too. They just contact me, and they just sent me a message like, "Hey Enrique, we're gonna we wanted to join, like we wanted to you or join us to be a selected artist and all this." And I was like, not really. I was just really excited at that time, and I just got a selected artist in that time because I started doing alpha CC. So
Hmm.
then like it was kind of different because this resource has that thing that if you start working with a CC, and they upgrade it to you to another to another like I don't know how to say that honestly, but if you grade to submitter artist to
Hmm.
select artist as a hairstyle creator, you can only do hairstyle creation because
Oh.
you you have some you have some possibilities when you upgrade to, because you start well, now you start getting a little bit of or like a remuneration, you know, when you,
Mhm.
in the past they was not like that, they were just only the featured artists, but now you get like in selected artists you get some remuneration. You can approve yourself your creations because you upgrade to, you know, to that place, and they just tell you that you can start like posting yourself without any without like any proof from the team.
Mhm.
They're still checking stuff because, well, when we're doing CC, we just didn't catch, we just don't catch all the things, and maybe there's something that we just pass out and we don't notice, so they just tell you like, oh my god, see, this is a problem, you need to fix it, and then submit it again, you know.
Mhm.
But that's like the place. And then when you get to featured artists, then you have like all the plus that you can be there. You got remunerated. You got like a really good promotion on the page. Also you can approve yourself already your creations. But as I said, if you have like a little issue and you didn't notice, they notice. So they're gonna tell you like, oh my god, Enrique, you see you have a little issue here. And you're like, oh my god, I forgot, or like I just didn't check it, and you go back and edit them, and then you like post it on the synth resource. Something about the synth resource and Patreon, like Patreon is like more, you know, freely, you know, you can put your
Mhm.
content whatever time you want it because it's yours. But in the synth resource you need to follow some steps, like you need to put your stuff before 3 days the release so they can check your stuff. It's really organized, and that's what I really like from the synth resource too. They're really organized with that. They're always checking your stuff if it's working with the game, because you know they're always trying to have like a really good quality, and more if you're a featured artist, they want the best from you, you know, and
Mhm.
from the people who is getting the CC. So yes, that's about the synth resource. About the communities, well, Patreon, you like the Patreon community is like the community that I have, because with the actual patron community, you know,
Mhm.
you just talk for things like if you're having issues and all that stuff, you know. But with the community that you work like in Patreon, like the people who supports you
Mhm.
actually, I mean, you can drop them like whips, you can talk with them like, you know, in post, you can ask them, you know, it's like a more like a social media, but you
Mhm.
support the creator and you get all those benefits. Also Discord benefits that you can join to a Discord group, a Discord chat, and all this stuff, you know. With the scene resource, you still have the comments and guest books, which which like are like things when the people comment about your CC if they like to, and the guest books is like always telling you that they love your CC and all this stuff. Say they're a person that consumes the scenes resource content,
Mhm.
and the community of the scenes resource, actually like the creators that are there and the people who's working on there, they're really nice. Honestly, they're really nice. They're really cool. Always, I've met some Canadian people from the synth resource,
Mhm.
and they're so lovely. I mean, all of them are so lovely. And something that I really like about the synth resource is the diversity of people. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of creators from different countries, from
Mhm.
different places of the world. So that's kind of cool too. And you meet a lot of people. I swear to God, you meet all of them, and it's really nice. I really love this resource team. They're really good.
No, that's awesome. And the reason I like to ask that is because like the first time I ever downloaded CC, like I had like nowhere, like I had no idea where to go. I didn't really know that Patreon was a thing for like CC. So I
Mhm.
started reading like Sims for CC search, and like the Sims resource showed up, and like you were a featured artist. I was like, oh man, this hair looks awesome. And then I used Sims resources for a long time, and then I started realizing that my favorite creators had their own pages, and then I would
Yes.
just go to their Patreon page or their Tumblr or their Sims resource page or their Instagram page, and I would show them support that way. And that really dipped me into my toes. But I remember at the very beginning, I would be like, wedding dress, Sims 4 CC and stuff. And I find that it's really good with the Sims resource. They, like you said, like they do take different artists from around the world and kind of broadcast it on there for you to get that,
Yeah.
because not everybody has the social media skills, or not everybody has time to be able to
Yes.
just plug your work. So I definitely appreciate that, like when you're a featured artist, like they will share your work. Now I have to ask, because the Sims partnered with, I think it's like something Force, and now you can have, like, they partnered with a lot of modders. Are you also partner with that modding program or no?
Yes, we're talking about Curse Forge.
Yeah, that. Yes.
Yeah, it's a site, it's a browser actually. That is that's for mods. Actually, you
Hmm.
can find Grand Theft Auto mods or Minecraft mods. Now they add this thing of the Sims 4 there.
Hmm.
Something about this. It's like CrossForge actually. I don't know if it was CrossForge because I don't have like that much idea of it. But
Yeah.
when these things comes, they're always grab the people who actually does CC from the game. Like you use pieces
Okay.
of the game and then they just do a new whole thing, you know? And they're kind of like really influence, the community.
Hmm.
Um as me, well, I'm not that I don't use meshes from the game. I don't use
Okay.
meshes from the game. I don't use textures from the games right like now. So I can say that I'm 100% by myself as a creator when
Okay.
I start doing that thing. Because yes, as I told you, like those creators who are there, they actually use um pieces of the game when
Hmm.
the pieces that come with the packs or all the stuff. They just edit them really well because
Hmm.
I don't know, they're literally really really good creators too. I have some friends there like Sentate.
Hmm.
He's a really good creator. He's one of my friends and I really really like his stuff. And he made just like really good things, getting pieces of the game and just he just edit them and you see like, oh my god, this is a completely different thing, And the Sims 4 team, the actual ES Sims 4 team, is always looking for that type of people who use
Hmm.
content from the game and just do a different. They just did edit them, but just in a different way, so it looks uh different. It looks like the same, but it's like it's CC. And there are kind of like really really those are creators that are already there. They influence the community,
Hmm.
they have a lot of followers and all this stuff. They have been like in the Sims too, like a lot of time, like as me. But as I told you, they're getting that because they're used pieces of the game. And yeah, I think it was a message or something like that that they sent it to you. Like
Hmm.
if you wanted to be partnered with it and all this stuff. I didn't receive the message. I have some friends that then when they dropped the announcement that they were being on ScoresForge, asking them like, oh my god, how do you get here? How do you get there?
Hmm.
And they told me like, oh my god, no, it's you get a message. I have some friends that they didn't that they declined the offer because they were not like uh you know like um they were just not sure about it,
Hmm.
you know. And there are some people that just accept it and then just start dropping like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Cruise Fortune." I was kind of like disappointed. I remember
Hmm.
because it was a huge thing in the time. It was a huge thing. All the posts like, "Oh my god, yeah, they're gonna be Cruise Fortune," and they didn't like text sending me a tag like a message or something else. But I know why because I'm not part of that of that root of that community actually.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm like in the whole community, but that's like a different root of the community. Those are like the creators who have been doing collaborations with the Sims as well. I there's a creator, I don't remember his name now, but he has you remember when they start dropping like actual things from CC creators, but they were
Yep.
on game in an update? Yeah. So they're always searching for that type of people. I'm not into that type of community because I don't use pieces of the game on my meshes. But yes, I mean it is really cool. It is really good to be in course. Now you can join you can start releasing your CC there. Don't matter if you are Maxis Match, Alpha,
Hmm.
Maxis Mid, it doesn't matter. But I didn't go to like I just like I'm not interested, you know.
Hmm.
And now maybe in the future, but now I'm really good. And honestly, like I just have two places to that I need to post this, you know. So I need to post on Patreon, I need to post in this resource, and then on CurseForge.
Hmm.
So you know, also this resource has some agreements with you when you are a featured artist, because actually it's like a company, you know, the resource is a company and all this stuff.
Hmm.
So you're working with them and you need to be they just send you agreements and all this stuff that you need to like you need to do with them.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like that type and all that stuff. And also in Patreon, it's like yourself, you wanted to drop like your CC with your actual supporters, you know, and all that stuff. So I mean, go to CrossForge. It's a
Hmm.
different thing too, because I tried to submit CC there. I find it kind of hard. I didn't know what I do there. So yes, like I just gave up. But now I'm not a partnership with, like, I'm not doing anything of partnership with CurseForge. I don't have my CC there. If you find my CC there, maybe it was another person, but I'm not the person who is like uploading his stuff there, because I don't, yeah, I'm not there in the CurseForge. I'm not.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, because I was just always curious at that, just because like I haven't even checked it out. You can clearly tell because I don't know the name of it. I just wasn't sure like if that was like a safe haven for CC creators, or if that was kind of just like just another way for Daddy EA to just kind of
I mean,
control what we create and what we're able to
yeah.
put into the game. Now, you did touch on something that I was actually going to touch on. So when you download CC, I usually will see like all the description of it, but at the end it says do not re-upload. um have you ever found any of your hair been re-uploaded?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes, and converting to other games, honestly. Like that's a massive thing that some of the community, or like some of the people, that this is involved, like kind of like with with Max's mix alpha people,
Hmm.
because Max's match is not that much, you know. It's like you cannot convert actually something from the game because it's illegal, you know.
Hmm.
But like when you are your when you do your own creations like from scratch, you always be there, like in that circle of the people who is in the community, and they just know how to convert that to GTA 5 or Roblox or Second Life or Imbu,
Hmm.
kind of like that. I know some of my meshes has been converted to GTA 5, because a lot of people told me like, oh my god, this is your hair, why is it here? And it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm like, what is going on? Like, and I mean, and I tried to contact them, they just don't answer you, and you just need to give up. And all the stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna like you just not. I'm just going to ignore it and all that stuff. That's a really bad thing for all of us, like as our creators. But I mean, there's nothing we can do. Like, there's some things. There's a protection actually that you have in like copyright content,
Hmm.
you know it
Yeah.
calls DMCA, which you can do like you can like go for that person
Yeah.
with them, and then tell them like, hey, look, see, there's a person who's stealing my meshes and all that stuff. You can do that and all that stuff. I mean, that's kind of like what it's really, really, really like important, when you're selling,
Hmm.
you know, because some of the GTA 5 things is there for free, you know.
Hmm.
So, if you're in the sim that you can find the hertz for free and all that stuff. But there are some people that actually sold it, like they're selling it on the internet.
Oh wow.
So that's like the important thing. That's like, oh my god, you're making money with the meshes that I did, or like
Yeah.
it never happened to me, honestly, like that type of selling things and all this stuff. Or maybe I just don't know. Maybe there's people doing it, but I just don't know because I didn't do a research of it. But I know some of like the alpha creators, some of them they other people from another game, they just get their hairstyles and sell it in another games. So that's kind of like that's kind of hard thing. And then you can hide a lawyer and all this stuff. It's a really really crazy but um important, and it's really like it's really important
Mhm.
uh because like it's your creation, you're doing it, you're working it. It's like it's actually a work. So I mean, yes, like I have been something like that with GTA 5. I don't know if Roblox, but I always receive message on Twitter too from
Mhm.
people asking me like, hey, how are you? I just wonder if I can convert your hairstyles for this game, Skyrim, and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you cannot, because like I don't want to, or I don't answer like that because that's kind of mean. But I said, no, sorry, I don't allow that because like I just don't allow it, and it's kind of
Mhm.
like just don't do it. That's all. And then some of them are okay, yeah, thank you, and some of them just like ignore you, like oh my god, like they just don't answer you.
Yeah.
And yes, like it's a really controversial thing, but that is more common with alpha creators, honestly. With Maxis Match and Maxis Mix, it's not because it's style. It's actually the action style of the Sims 4, But
Yeah.
Alpha herself, I mean, they could be on Second Life, they could be on Inbu, they could be on Skyrim, GTA
Mhm.
5, like a lot of games that so and they can sell it. So yeah, like, and it happens too from another games, like from someone can take from Second Life a match and then convert to the Sims 4. It's a big problem too because there are some amazing Second Life creator too that does their work, and they just come another person to convert
Mhm.
their hairstyle to another game. And it's kind of like it's a really controversial thing. It doesn't happen only with Sims 4. It happens with Second Life, Imbu, Skyrim, with a lot of games. But that's kind of like a dark side. It's not like a really good thing to be on it,
Mhm.
because I mean you can get in really really bad troubles. Like you can get in trouble there.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I work in corporate marketing, and I have to have written approval for everything I have. That's called lawsuits, and that's called theft. No matter what it is, you're
Yes.
stealing somebody's art. And if I don't have the copyright to reproduce it, then that's goes against the law of it's literally what copyright is, right? You have the right, it protects the right of you being copied.
Yes.
Um, thank you for sharing. I was just always curious because like so I use I've really noticed it a lot with poses because I have a ton of poses being a storyteller, and I'll just download a pack and I'll realize I'm like, oh, that pose is the exact same as another pack that I already have. Like it's like I really kind of find that. So I was just
Yes.
really fascinating to hear what the creators aspect of that is. Now, Enrique, I actually do have a couple more questions for you, and then we're gonna do a quick lightning round, and then
Okay.
gonna wrap up this interview.
Okay.
So you've talked a lot about, your experiences and um how long you've been on in your working process, but what advice would you give to anybody who wants to start making their own CC?
Okay, so my advice, honestly, it's like start doing it. Like now. Doesn't matter if you are like it doesn't matter if you're like just don't understand anything. You can ask to other creators that maybe could help you, because like there are some creators that they are just not that much in the they are just busy, or like so but start doing CC. You can ask someone that kind of knows about the thing of doing CC and all the stuff. Just start doing it and practice.
Mhm.
So you just need to practice a lot, because if you wanted to become a good creator, you need to practice a lot. practice a lot. And doesn't matter if your hair doesn't look good, if your texture is kind of like a little bit like doesn't look that good. I mean, it's part of the process because we always like to start with something, and when you see like it's not that we want it doesn't look that something that we wanted actually, it's like we just gave up, and we're like just go down, and we're like, no, I'm not gonna do this anymore because it doesn't look like the good or like the big creators, because
Mm-hmm.
we're always want to be like those creators, so like I think it's that, start doing it now, like start looking for tutorials. At the time when I started doing CC, there are like a few but minimal tutorials of it. There were not like that much tutorials to start doing hairstyles, start doing clothes, start doing accessories. No. Now at this time you have a lot of tutorials. You can search on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and search like speed meshing videos since for
Mm-hmm.
and you will find a lot of videos of how to do speed of how to do clothes or how to do hairs, of how to do accessories and all the stuff, because the people are kind of like more open about it, and they're just trying to like help people who want to start in this community of CC,
Mm-hmm.
so yes, that's my advice. And well, also this is like a top advice. You need to have a good laptop or a good computer. You don't have to be a gaming one, but I mean, if you wanted to do like if you wanted to start doing content and be in the community like for a long time, you need to start like you need to have a good PC, because the amount of the amount of process that you need to have, or that you make doing CC, it takes a lot of requirements over like process. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to have a good PC. I'm not talking about the gaming one because the gaming ones like are the best ones. But
Mm-hmm.
if you can start with a good PC, or a good laptop, I mean you will end, and then you can start like and also that I gonna say to it's like know about like kind of like a little bit of Photoshop or like a little bit of marketing or something like that. When I started, didn't know anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
because when you start, you don't know nothing. But if you can like start doing like you can watch some tutorials on YouTube about Photoshop, the essential things on Blender and all this stuff, it will be easier for someone who is trying to start in this, because if you just get into the program, I swear to God that you're gonna be a mess. I remember
Mm-hmm.
when I tried Blender the first time, and I was like, what is this? This is so like it has too much things. It's so like it's so weird, like all this stuff. And then I learned by myself. I was really lazy to like search for tutorials, like
Mm-hmm.
actual Blender tutorial, because you will not find specifically a tutorial of an actual thing, you will not find. I want to do straight long hair, and this is for no. You're not gonna find it because there's not any tutorial. You will find out how to do hairstyles in the Sims maybe, or you will find how to use Blender.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to see all of those tutorials to see, like much more how it's will going on in this. So yes, those are my advice. Like starting now, and don't give up. Don't give up. Just um start like doing it and work really hard for it, be better all the days and all this stuff. So yeah, that's like that advice that I can give to a person who wants to join to the CC community.
That is such awesome advice. Now, I have to ask, because you were talking about tutorials, would you ever make your own tutorials for everybody?
I made a tutorial. I remember that I made a tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually on YouTube. It has like about 26,000 views.
Oh,
It's so
wow.
crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy. Well, I think it has more. I don't remember, but yes, I did that. It was a tutorial. It was like is it a speed meshing tutorial? Because doing a hairstyle, as I told you, can take you 1 day, 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be like, "Hello, guys. Today I'm gonna show." You can like as do like you can do a tutorial, a video like specifically of a thing, but when you start working on a hairstyle, I mean, you cannot like do that type of video because it will take like more than 2 3 hours. I swear to God. So
Yeah.
this is a speed machine, and it's a speed machine inspired by a Barbie hairstyle that someone asked me in that time.
Mm-hmm.
and I did it. A lot of people asked me some things, but in that time I was just like start learning or start doing that type of hairstyle like from scratch. A lot of people was asking me like, hey, how do you do hairstyles and all that stuff, and it's kind of like when you ask a creator to how to do a thing, it's kind of like hard,
Yeah.
because you cannot explain like actually how to do it, because a lot of people have like debate, like a lot of people have a diversity like forms of making their CC, like the process. I mean, you can ask for something specific, as I told before, like how can I do this a little bit more straight, like that line, or how how could I do like like a little diamond, or like how can I add more highlight to texture? Like are
Hmm.
specifically things. But when it's up to like the whole process, you're like, hey man, like like you just like get without words, because you're like, okay, like I would like to, but I mean, takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. You're not gonna, if I show you how to do your hair today, tomorrow you're not gonna do the same hairstyle,
Hmm.
because it takes me, like for me and for other creators, it took so many years to learn and know what we know. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like, if I show you, I can show you already. If you want to, like I can show you some of the little process and some of the essentials, but it will not be the same, because we're having like a lot of years here in the community doing that, you know.
Hmm.
So the only thing that it makes you better is the practice. It's the practicing, practicing, and practicing. So yes, that's what about the tutorials that you can tell. Like um some people ask for tutorials. You can do specifically things. You can do like a whole tutorial. I mean, it's gonna take so long. It's gonna take so long. But there's people that actually do it.
Hmm.
But they're simple. They're not simple. They're just the basics and essentials to start doing. Then if you wanted to like do something different, you're gonna find by yourself, because it will be not there in the internet. Um, and also I have some another tutorials which are by how to edit your Sims in Photoshop
Hmm.
or all the stuff. But kind of like these videos are kind of like outdated, like they're
Yeah.
not because those videos are like about 2 3 years now.
Yeah.
They were really old. I don't use those processes anymore right now, because as I told before, you're always learning new things, changing things, and all that, changing things and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So yes, that's like the thing of a tutorial. But yes, I have some tutorials on my YouTube channel. I mean, they're really basic. They're really good too. I mean, I can tell they're really good, because it will help you starting in the community too.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's it.
Very, very, very nice. Now I have to ask, what's it like when you're on Instagram and you see someone using your hair? Like, what does it feel like? Are you like giddy? Are you excited?
I just get excited like a lot, and I have this scream, but at the inside, and I'm like, oh my god, like it's so good. Like when people use my CC, I really love that. I really love that when people use my CC. Really, really love that. Um, Something that is kind of like you know uh bad for me. It's
Hmm.
when they don't tag me.
No.
So I just see the post and I'm like, okay, but I see the hairstyle, and then I'm like, oh my god, is this person is using my hair? I reposted on my story, but it's kind of like I just like not see at the first time.
Hmm.
I just see because someone reposted, another creator reposted, or in the search tab of the Instagram when I'm there, I just look someone who's using my hair, but they don't tag me. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like for me, it's kind of like, oh my god, like I wish this person could tag me, and I will notice at the time, at the first time. But when like most of the people just tag me and I see their creations, like their sims using my hair and stuff, and I just get so excited, because like it shows like a really beautiful thing.
Hmm.
It's like you're supporting me, and like I see that you like my CC and all this stuff, you know. It is really, really beautiful thing about to be about to be a creator, honestly. When someone's used your CC for lookbooks, for histories, for videos, reels, a lot of things, and it's really cute. I'm always sharing or reposting the pictures of the people using my system because I love, and my actual reaction is like that. Yeah, I just like get so excited and scream, and I'm like on my phone, like, oh my god, reposted already, and then I comment like, oh my god, this is so cute, or like with the face with the little hearts in the eyes, or like just like like in the actual mention, like in the post, reposting. I mean, I'm like that. I really love that.
No, that's awesome. I was just always curious to see what a CC creator do because like there's so many talented cast creators out there that create these amazing lookbooks. And it's just because it's your art, right? You're
Yeah,
basically putting your art out to the world and we get to decide what we do with it. So I was always just curious to see like what your reaction would be after you see it.
yeah.
Now we're gonna go to a quick lightning round. So I have some these are very quick. So I'm gonna ask you either this or this, and you'll just answer.
Uh,
So would you rather create long hair or short hair?
Long hair.
Would you rather create straight hair or curly hair?
Um, uh, eh, Honestly, I prefer. Okay, this is like a different point, but I honestly create straight hairs because they're like more easy. But
Hmm.
I just love curly hairs, honestly. But about the texture, the meshing, and the things, it's a little bit more complicated. It's just a little bit more complicated. So I think I'm gonna stick with straight ones because are like the
Hmm.
ones that I must know how to do them.
No, no worries. Bangs or no bangs?
Uh, Bangs.
Braids or ponytail?
Oh my god, this is hard. And I think braids. I really like braids.
Okay. Creating CC for male hair or for child?
I
I know you don't do either, but if you had to do one, which one would you choose?
Yeah, well, I make for child. I have some conversions of it, so I think I have child. I don't do that much for males. I
Hmm.
did in the past. Maybe I just have one hair, but it was like from 2 years ago. So yeah, I prefer definitely child. Like my thing is like female hairstyle. I really love to do female hairstyles.
How about ombre or highlight?
Definitely ombres.
Ombres.
Yeah.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, if you were to create a short hair to the chin or a pixie cut?
A short hair, I think uh to the chin, honestly.
To the
Yes.
chin? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
should be that one. Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the lightning round. Now, I know that you are stepping back into making alpha hairstyles from your announcement this week. How does it feel to go back to making alpha?
I mean, it's like kind of really excited, but at the same time, it's frustrating because Alpha Hairstyle is just a way different of Max's match, Max's mix. It's a way different thing because you need a lot of detail things. You need to be a realistic. You need to have a realistic texture. You need to do alphas. Um, I don't know if I don't know if some of the people know, but we call alpha CC to the CC that's kind of realistic.
Mhm.
But all the CC has alpha, like that, like they have alpha. Alpha is like the texture
Mhm.
who is written by I don't know how to explain that much because I don't know the term, but I can explain like I would explain like my perception of it. Alpha is like the it's a texture that rates the actual you know it's like a texture who oh my god, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain, but it's a texture that like alpha creators and Maxis Match creator and Maxis Mix creator use that texture. It's because like it's the one that the actual game will rate,
Mhm.
will rate because it's in black and white. So when you're gonna put like the actual swatches and the actual texture, because you do the texture, you do the actual texture that it's on the hair, you know, it's on the hair, you will see like the colors and all stuff. And then you have the alpha texture, which is the one who will like read, or they're gonna who have the perception of it. Like if you wanted to do a lace dress,
Mm-hmm.
you need to do it with alpha texture, because you can just put like a black swatch in the text in the actual PNG file.
Mm-hmm.
But in the alpha one, you need to have like the specifically alpha alpha texture, which is with the details and all that stuff. Um but yeah, like it's really excited. It's really excited. But you just need to do all of them. Like it's like kind of like the same process that I do with my hairs, but this
Mm-hmm.
is really different because you don't use now cylinders and cubes. You use planes, and it's kind of like for me it's a little bit hard. Um, you use you just need to create a realistic texture again.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is more realistic than the one that I have. You need to create an office to you need to know how to solve transparency issues that I'm just working on it. That's the reason why I'm always afraid of alpha hairstyles, because I mean, uh, all that process is kind of like really good, you know, it's really pretty, it's only
Mm-hmm.
testing and all that stuff. But when you're going into game and test the hairstyle, and you'll see and some transparency issues, like it's glitching with another plane, like you can see through, it's kind of like it's stressful. So it's the transparency issues is like is a lot of it's a lot of process, and it's an extremely detailed process. Like if you move, like if you classificate a plane that is on behind of a top plane, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it will not work. It will destroy. It will not good look on the game. So it has a lot of like it has a lot of process. That's the reason why alpha creators um this hairstyle, but you know they don't drop that much hairstyles as Maxis Match or
Mm-hmm.
Maxis Mix does, you know, because it takes a lot of time. When you're actually in, you know, in the thing with alpha, it's get easy, you know, when you're like doing it the time, because those alpha creators that are actually, you know, doing alpha C from like through the years, they just know get in the thing, you know, and they just know how to solve all that thing. But when you start like as um like always, and like you know all the things that you start, it gets complicated. It gets complicated. So it's I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of this haircut. I want to drop as soon as possible, because like it's I did some hairstyles in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not proud of them, honestly, because they were like really bad. In the time I was like really excited, but now that I see them, like, oh my god, I did this. I did just only one. I think it's on the Citrus. I did some of them,
Mm-hmm.
but the you know the one that I'm like kind of proud of, kind of, is a one that is on the Citrus source. It's actually inspired by Ariana Grande when she dropped "No Tears Left to Cry" music video.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's that one. That's the only one that I did. Then I tried to do different things, like you know. Then I tried to do off stuff, but I didn't drop anything because like I was afraid to, you know, like I didn't finish them. They those hairstyles I actually lost them because you know I got my PC reset, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so well, those are were old, but they were having transparency issues, a lot of issues. So I didn't drop them because you know they were having issues. Now that I have this one, I know how to really do all the things, you know, all the things. The only thing that I'm bad with is the transparency issues. And I have a friend which I wanna make little you know spotlight for her. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Java Sims. She does office C, and she is the one that is like helping me with this thing. Also, she's really cool. She's so lovely. I mean, she's one of my friends in the community. I have a lot of friends, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but she's one of those friends that are really like we really help each other. You know, I really help her. She really helps me. So like I wanted to get involved in this type of community on Alpha community, because I was always dreamed to be like a Maxis Match and Alpha creator. I always like I have been dreaming with it. So then she knows how to do like author creators and all that stuff. And well, she's like helping me trying
Mhm.
to solve that, and so we're just testing things, doing things to see if this work, it doesn't work, so we're just there. But to finish with the question, it is really exciting to be back doing off of CC, you know, and start and join and like start again in another community, you know. It's the same Sims community, but we know Maxis Match and Alpha are not like just you know, attached. They're just like
Yeah.
different things, and it's really excited to be part of another community in the Sims 4.
That is fantastic, Enrique. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming here today. Why don't you tell everybody where I know you're on Sims Resource and Patreon, but why don't you tell everybody else where we can find your work?
Okay, so you know, my name is Enrique, and so that's kind of like my brand too. Enrique's for. You can find me on the Sims Resource as Enrique's for. You can find me on Patreon actually, which I drop CC like hairstyles and accessories too, earrings, necklaces, and all that stuff. There, you just support me there, and you will get like the content of the month. You can find me on Pinterest too. I'm really new there, but I'm getting like really good at there, you know. I'm really getting like monthly viewers and all that stuff. You can find me on Pinterest as enriques4cc. You can find me on Tumblr, which is an all source but a still friendly source of the Sims CC, because if you want to search like all the CC that you want it, you can go on Tumblr, you will find like all the CC. There as enriques4cc, and on Instagram and Twitter, I'm as enriques4cc too. So you can find me there and go and follow me. I always like uh dropping CC, dropping some stories like pictures, whips, sometimes something about my, you know, life as not being a creator, like pictures of things or food and all that stuff. So yeah, like those are my social media that you can find me.
Perfect. Well, Enrique, thank you so much for sharing those. The links are going to be below. Please go check out Enrique. As I said, I am a solid fan. If you want to see some of his work in action, please go to any Rose Chronicles chapter. Any hair that Alexa's wearing is Enrique's hair. So again, Enrique, thank you so much for being such an amazing part of this community and being an amazing CC creator. I can honestly tell you that my game experience would be very different if you were not a CC creator. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you so much, Stacey, for having me here today. I'm really excited. As I told you, this is a new thing for me, honestly. It is really like exciting, you know. It is really cool. I didn't even like did this before, so I really like this kind of interview, this podcast. It's really cool. It's really cool, and I hope you like you know, get future with this, because this is a really cool thing. I wish you the best with the podcast and all this stuff, because this is really cool. I mean, and this is really great. This is kind of like a thing that you can talk with other persons of the community, like the
Mhm.
diversity and all this stuff, and inviting them to talk about different points of it. And this is really cool, and it's something that like I never seen before, you know. So I really love this. I'm really proud of it too, because this is, I mean, this is really cool, and I'm so thankful that you invited me to be here. So yes, thank you so much, Stacey. This is so cool.
Oh, okay. You're making me cry my little eyes out. Well,
Oh
thank
my
you.
god, yeah.
I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to, bring us together and, talk about really important topics. I mean, The Sims, no matter every simmer I've brought on here, we all say the same thing. The Sims has been such an important part of our life. Um, we want The Sims to like the EA team to reflect on like what is going around in the world. I mean, The Sims turned 23 today, which is crazy to think about. I'll be 30
Yeah.
this year. You weren't even alive, right? Because it's crazy to think that like this game has only been around for 23 years, but it's
I
also
know.
kind of feels like a long time. But anyways, Enrique, I could keep rambling, but I want to thank you so much for coming here today. Please go check out Enrique. Like I said, the links are gonna be below. It has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, and I cannot wait to see all the hair that you will release this year.
Thank you so much, Stacey. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day, okay?
Okay, thank you. You too.
Bye.